The Dow coming off a record as shares of major tech companies popped on the first trading day of August. Joining us right now is Amy Wu Silverman. She's the head of derivative strategy from RBC Capital Markets. And Amy, this earnings season has felt a little more volatile. Has it played out that way in the options market too? Watching the shares after hours, you see some really big hits and some really big misses.
Yeah, I will tell you, specifically when you look at an Amazon and when you look at a Microsoft, their one-day earnings realized move was the largest on record. So, pulling it back to all the previous quarters, I think it was plus 15% and plus 17% respectively. But overall, when you look at earnings seasons, specifically as it relates to the hyperscalers, they're beating these implied moves that are happening on options, and that's historically not the case. Typically, options tend to overprice the earnings move, and then they underrealize. We're seeing the opposite this time.
The hyperscalers, though, we're not judging them the same way that we used to. This is an evolution that's taking place.
It's an evolution. It's not the hyperscalers you married. They're becoming different people.
Life crisis.
Maybe they're having an existential crisis. But look, two big things when you spend that much capex and then you issue that much debt. They're far more rate sensitive, and they're far more sensitive when you think about that negative free cash flow. So it's not the same beast, and because of that, there really is a volatility regime shift. And how volatile these stocks will be going forward, that was not the same as the past.
What does that mean just in terms of how we judge them and how the market judges them?
So last weekend, one thing I wrote going into this week's earnings was I think a lot of these implied moves that we're seeing are underpriced. And that tended to be what occurred, especially among the hyperscalers. I think that will be the case going forward because you think a lot about these baskets that the quants have on, these factor baskets. I actually was updating our own high quality versus low quality basket. And I said, hey, a lot of these hyperscalers, they aren't going to make it into these high quality baskets anymore if one of your bogeys is you have to be really free cash flow positive, and they're churning and they're spending so much money. They're dropping out of these baskets. You're really rethinking how they fit in the factor world. And on top of that, they're shifting that volatility regime.
Does that mean their investor base is shifting as well? Is it a different investor who's kind of coming in?
I think I think it's a slow moving ship in the sense that people have them. They're such large concentrations. But when you start to change that volatility regime, you'll have new people coming in. But two, you might have people leaving who are targeting certain volatility bands. And so those things are shifting. I think next earnings season will look more similar to this one than past ones in that those option implied moves have to start picking up from where they were.
Joe was just asking the question in the beginning of the show. Have we made it through the volatility factor or the frothy factor in the markets? Just the concern about AI, has that kind of played out at this point or not?
So yes and no. I think near-term froth, you did get a lot of shakeout just because of what occurred with situational awareness last week. One of our monitors, so absolute skew inversions, essentially the absolute count in the S&P 500 of how many stocks where the call implied volatility is outweighing the put implied volatility. Mm-hmm. That high's around 80. We're sitting about 50 right now. So about average levels. That tells you froth has been sucked out of the market. However, as we get past this earnings season, August tends to be a volatility vacuum, and then we hit into midterms. I would expect some of that to reoccur.
There will be a season 2. They're working on it right now, probably the producers and the writers, showrunners, and everything else. I would imagine that, too.
I think there'll be a season 2, Joe.
There will be a season 2, yeah. Sometimes, it takes a long time. Well, Severed, it was like 3 years, hopefully.
Severance?
Severance, yeah.
Great show. I was like, Severed.
Yeah, Severed, yeah. Severance. It was like 3 years. I forgot what happened.
Yeah.
But
the rewatches.
What else should we watch as we kind of move out of earnings season into the dog days of summer, maybe start heading towards fall?
So we were on a client marketing trip these past few weeks, and what I thought was interesting is people are starting to bring up midterms fairly early. And here's the context in which they're bringing it up. It's not about consumer sentiment. It's not about these high gas prices, inflation. It's a lot of anti-AI sentiment. So, we sat down, the client across from me said, look, what do you think about this moratorium that Kathy Hochul's put on data centers? And so it's interesting to see this divergence in sentiment that you're seeing in the U.S. that's not necessarily there in China. And the question we've been writing about, which I don't have a great answer to, is this a political thing, or does it become an incumbent versus not incumbent thing? We don't know how it will play out. But when anti-AI sentiment is something that happens in midterms, it ends up being more of a market story, just simply because of the concentration that you have in all these names.
I mean, you might also have the states versus the federal government in some of these issues, too. The federal government has been mostly hands-off. The rules that they've talked about, the regulations at this point, are voluntary, coming from the White House. But then you get a real big push from the Not in My Backyard, and that may be more of a local story.
It's interesting because one of my notes was literally called NIMBY, Not in My Backyard. So the point being, on a federal level, obviously, we have stakes and we want to pursue, we want to beat China. There are these reasons for doing it. But at the same time, you don't want the data center to be what you're staring at from your bedroom window. And so there is this dichotomy and this tension between what's occurring local versus on a federal level. And I think that tension will probably start to break out more in midterms.
Okay. Amy, thanks a lot for coming
you.
in. Yeah.